How you guys doing? Today we're gonna do a kind of a fun film dream team kind of tier list, choosing one director, two writers, five actresses, five actors, and a cinematographer and composer. What would it be like a dream type situation if you were a producer for a film? If you were a head at Warner Studios or at Disney, what type of director and actor would you choose? Just what kind of team would you build around in kind of this fun event for you as a first time producer? And what would you do if you want to go maybe the Oscar route, trying to get as many Oscars? You want to make a big blockbuster, a sci-fi, fantasy, or horror movie if you'd like to do that. Just let me know what type of movie you guys would do if you could use this as a film dream team. And I'm going to put the tier list in my description. Let me know what you guys thought. So on this list that I made, I have a long range of directors such as Bong, Refn, Del Toro, I have Fincher, I have all Scorsese, I have Tarantino, Cuarón. I have all these different type of directors. And which ones would you guys choose to helm this picture if you could? But for me, as my first director, in terms of a genre, I think I would do more of a sci-fi, fantasy type of film, and also having like a thriller aspect also. So for my director, this is gonna be a little bit odd, but for me, I would choose Scorsese as my director. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm choosing Scorsese because obviously he's one of the best directors of all time, our generation, and from the '70s and up. I think he'll be great at creating just these believable characters. And so, even though he's not used to doing sci-fi, I would like to see him work along with these two writers that I've chosen for him to work with. So for me, I would do Scorsese, and then my two writers would be, I would have to choose Nolan. Let me see if I can find him. Nolan, and I would have to choose. Well, first let me talk about Nolan. So as the genre writer, I've chosen Nolan because, of course, he's a master at doing these sci-fi movies such as Interstellar, Memento, of course, also movies like Tenet that he did a couple of years ago already in 2020, which was I thought was great. So sci-fi is kind of my one of my favorite genres. So I'd like to see also Scorsese and Nolan work together. So this would be a fun kind of project for them to work on. And also, it would just be a really interesting new kind of two different generations working together, which would be one of the best. But for my second pick, I would definitely do Tarantino because I would want him to focus on writing the dialogue. Meanwhile, I would have Tarantino doing the dialogue, and then I would have Nolan focusing on the plot and this other story elements. Of course, they would work together, Tarantino and Nolan in this case. And I just think they would make a great screenplay, probably one of the best ever in terms of creating a unique world. And then Tarantino's style of character writing would be hilarious, and at the same time, would be just great to see in terms of which type of comedy he would do, and also with Nolan's type of world building and maybe sci-fi elements and also thriller elements, which they're both really good at. So I think it would be one of the best screenplays we've probably ever witnessed in all of movies. So that would be my second writer for the Dream Team. Next up would be the cinematographer slash DP for this film. For me, I would personally choose my favorite cinematographer of all time. That would have to be Roger Deakins, working on films like Blade Runner 2049, of course, No Country for Old Men. I would just love seeing Deakins and Scorsese work together on this film, and also the input of Nolan and Tarantino. I think he just always makes beautiful images. So I would love to see Deakins join the squad and kind of make this cool new sci-fi movie and thriller movie, which he's used to doing already. And I would just love to see this new world that they would build together. So I would choose Roger Deakins as my DP. Let me know which ones you guys would pick. I've added people like Rodrigo Prieto. Slav Zukas is usually known for doing, of course, the digital black and white kind of films. Wally Pfister, DP that worked with Nolan on Inception and the Dark Knight trilogy. I've added, of course, Jeff Cronenweth, Hoy Van Hoytema, Lubeski, Robert Richardson. Just so many great cinematographers and DPs. So Let me know who would you pick in the situation. But for me, I'm choosing the all-time great Roger Deakins. Next up, I have the composer, which is kind of an interesting one to pick because it might be not one of the first decisions for maybe some people, but the composer always has a big effect on a movie, no matter which one you're watching, whether it's a thriller or a drama or mystery. The music is always very important, especially if you want to do maybe a musical for your own dream team. But for me, I'm doing, obviously, I said before, like a sci-fi thriller element of a movie. So for me, I have to pick Hans Zimmer for this. Just his work alongside Nolan already, and obviously just coming off doing a great score for Dune. For me, it would obviously be Hans Zimmer. I think he's one of the best of all time as a composer. I've also added other composers you guys could choose are some like Howard Shore, who did Lord of the Rings. I have Alexander Dupla, I believe is his name. He's also a great composer. Hilder, who just did the Joker score. So this is a lot of great composers you guys can choose from on this tier list. So let me know which composer you guys would choose. But for me, I have to go with Hans Zimmer, one of the best of all time. Now, next up would be the actors and which of the 5 actors and 5 actors I would pick in this kind of sci-fi thriller movie. For me, I have to choose my favorite actor working right now, and that would be Leonardo Dicaprio as the first pick for actor. Let me just quickly pick. But he's just one of the all-time greats working right now. I'm excited for his next movie with Scorsese, and that would be on The Killers of the Flower Moon. He's already worked with Nolan and Tarantino, so it'll just be a great trifecta working with directors he's already worked before. And I would just love to see Leo in this role for this sci-fi thriller. But I've also added actors such as, of course, greats like Samuel Jackson, De Niro. I've added actors like Daniel Day-Lewis. I've added actors like Daniel Day-Lewis, Brad Pitt, all such great actors. I've added even newer, younger generation actors like Timothée Chalamet, if you guys want to go that direction. I've added Orlando Bloom. I've added Ryan Reynolds. I've added so many actors that you guys can choose from. So let me know who you guys would pick. But for the first pick, I'm going with Leo. For my second pick, I have to go with somebody I know will bring the comedy aspect to the film and would be a large part of the comedy aspect within the film. And I love seeing him work already with Leo. And that would have to be Samuel L. Jackson. I already have to pick him as my second pick for the actor role. But I think their dynamic as seen in Django Unchained already was great, and I think in this movie they would just continue to rekindle that magic that they both had on screen together. So for my second pick, I'd go with Samuel L. Jackson, one of the best already to ever do it. And yeah, that's who I'd pick for my number 2 slot. As my third pick, I want to make one of the best. I want to see these 2 actors work together just so badly, and one of the best actors of all time is obviously Daniel Day-Lewis, who'd be my third pick for this film. Just seeing all these great actors and directors and writers together all in one room would be amazing to see. But for my third pick, I'm going with Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the best to ever act, already with 3 Oscars, and we've already seen what he can do in a lot of drama movies. I would like to see him in this kind of sci-fi that still has some drama elements and thriller. So I'd love to see Daniel Day-Lewis work with also Samuel Jackson and Leo DiCaprio. Now for my fourth pick, I'm going to go with another all-time great, and that is Robert De Niro. I've already loved seeing DiCaprio and De Niro work together. Samuel Jackson and De Niro have also worked together. I would just love to see this kind of blend of actors all in one movie. Daniel Day-Lewis working with De Niro would be amazing to see. And I just would love to see De Niro work with all these great actors and great directors already. Of course, Scorsese I've picked at the helm because he's worked with a lot of these actors already, and he'll bring out more of the realistic elements, I think. But I would just love to see all these people work together. Now for the last slot, this was a difficult one to choose, but I think this actor we've already witnessed how great he can be in other movies, and that is the younger Ryan Gosling. I've chosen him as my fifth pick. We've already seen him do great work in other thrillers like Drive, of course. I think is one of his best performances. The Place Beyond the Pines is another movie which he's really great in, and also La La Land, of course. So he's able to do different genres already. And I would just love seeing this great team of actors work together. As I've said before, this would just be a dream come true if this type of movie would ever be produced. So these are the five main male actors I would like to choose for this film. Now for the last five actresses for this film, it's going to be really tough to choose, but for the first pick, I think I'd have to go actually an actress that's already worked with Leo and has a new movie coming up is Don't Look Up, and that's Jennifer Lawrence. I've picked her as my first pick. I think she's one of the best actresses obviously working today, and I could already see her down the line getting even more Oscars and more recognition. Next up, I'm going to choose an all-time great. For me, it would have to be, a lot of people probably pick like Meryl Streep, and I understand that she's really great as well, but for me, it would have to be Frances McDormand. I think she's one of the best all-time actresses working today as well, especially recently with films like Nomadland and Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. I think she's continually just gotten better and better throughout her career, all the way going back to Fargo. She's already been in great kind of thriller movies as well. So adding her to this cast list would just be amazing, and I think she would just be a great character and just great actress all around on the project. Third slot, I have a lot of actresses here you guys can choose from. I've chosen like Zendaya, Anya Taylor-Joy as some of the younger actresses and up and coming actresses. I've chosen a lot of great actors like Florence Pugh, but to me, for my third slot, I would have to pick Lupita Nyong'o. I think she's one of the best actresses as well working right now. Not only for the superhero movies, also in Black Panther, but also working like 12 Years a Slave, and just being a really great actress and just bringing out great performances in like the movie Us with Jordan Peele. I just think she's a great talent, and I would love to see her in this cast with the other actors and actresses. I'm a number 4 slot. I have to choose Margot Robbie, of course, working with already, of course, with actors like Leonardo Dicaprio already, and just seeing this great team together that she would be with Lupita Nyong'o, Frances McDormand, Jennifer Lawrence is already just a great group of actresses already. So I'd love to see Margot Robbie join that team and this production. So for me, my fourth slot would have to be Margot Robbie. And my last pick would be someone maybe you guys wouldn't expect as much, but it would have to be Zoe Saldana, one of the best actresses working right now. She's one of the bigger actresses, I think, right now, especially since she's been in big blockbusters already since Avatar, and also the new Avatar is coming out next year, and of course being part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think she'll just bring also another comedy element into the movie, and she'll be a great actress to kind of blend in with all these great actors and actresses on this team. So for me, the last pick would have to go with Zoe Saldana. Of course, you guys could choose so many of these great actresses, even Scarlett Johansson, Amy Adams, Emma Stone. Let me know which actors and actresses you guys would have chosen. So guys, that was my film dream team. Let me know which directors, writers, DP, composers, 5 actors and 5 actresses you guys would have chosen. I'd like to know which ones you guys would have selected and why you guys would have selected them. I just think this would be a great cast to see, and also which genre you guys would do. For me, as I've said before, this is like a sci-fi thriller movie. So seeing Scorsese work with all these great actors and actresses he hasn't done yet. Some he has, some he hasn't, and also working with the great writers such as Nolan and Tarantino. I would just love to see this production happening. And Roger Deakins and Hans Zimmer being behind kind of the technical, in terms of the DP and the composer, bring the great imagery and music together, would be a sight to see in the big screen. And all these great actors and actresses working together on this big project. But this is of course a dream. Who knows if something like this would ever happen. But if I had a big production budget and let's say like 200 mil, I would definitely try to make a movie like this happen on such a scale. So let me know which type of movie you guys would have done, and who would you guys have picked to select the pieces in this great project. Guys, go have a good one, and subscribe down below, leave your comments down below, and leave a like on this video if you really enjoyed it, and let me know which people you would have chosen.